I regularly visit a gentleman's club in my area, and for the past few months, I've been seeing one particular dancer, Tiffany. In addition to tipping her and getting dances, I buy Tiffany at least one drink every shift. She always requests the same thing, a screwdriver made with a certain brand of vodka. A while back, I went in and Tiffany sat with me as usual. I ordered Tiffany's drink from the barmaid and got one for myself as well. But when I sipped it, I didn't taste any alcohol at all despite having seen the barmaid pour from the same bottle as she used to make Tiffany's drink. Tiffany excused herself to freshen up, and after the barmaid walked away, I grabbed the bottle and poured some into an empty glass. As I suspected, it wasn't vodka, it was plain water. When Tiffany came back, I asked if we could go to the back for a dance. When she sat on my lap, I asked her about the fake vodka. I told her that I knew it was really water. She tried to tell me it was a one-time thing because she's visiting her sick grandma tomorrow and doesn't want to be hungover. I pressed her and asked her if she'd been getting water shots the entire time we've been seeing each other. She finally admitted that she's a Mormon and doesn't drink alcohol at all. I admit that I got pretty upset about how she lied. So she called the bouncer and I got kicked out. When I tried to go back, I was told that I've been permanently barred from the club. I told him that I wanted to speak to a manager and he threatened to kick my ass into next fucking week. I went home and I called the club and the manager answered. I told him that I was basically frauded and that I wouldn't demand my money back for the aborted lap dance, but I wanted a refund on every drink I was restricting to buying for Tiffany. I've been seeing her every Friday and Saturday plus a few other weeknights from time to time. So even assuming that I only bought her 2 drinks on Friday and Saturdays, every screwdriver is $12, so that puts me at $960 spent on nothing but orange juice and water. He called me a yutz and hung up, but they haven't heard the end of this. Am I in the wrong for demanding a refund on drinks that I bought a stripper?
The asshole for kicking my mom out of my dad's old house after finding out what she's been telling my wife. I, 33 male, am beyond angry about this. Some of my siblings are telling me it was an overreaction while also mad at what she did. My wife, Kara, and I were friends for years. She was in a very toxic and abusive relationship for 3 years until she had begged me and our close friends to help her get out. It was difficult, but we made it possible. We all pitched in for her to stay as far away as possible while she got a restraining order and all that jazz. We each took turns going to visit, then she found out she was pregnant, so I helped out more. Her ex passed away from an overdose when my stepson, 7 male, was 4 months old, so since then we all became sort of like uncles and aunts to him. Around that time, I knew I developed feelings for her, but we never did anything because she had a son and personal issues to process. It didn't feel right at the time. But yes, we did start a relationship 3 years later. She's the one who first admired she's in love with me, so things went from there. We just got married. She's 5 months pregnant with our second child. I will say that yeah, my mom had issues at the start of our relationship because she believed Kara was faking what happened to her just to make me feel sorry for her and take care of them. We went through a period of not talking until she apologized, so we mended things somewhat. My mom came to stay at our house, which was my dad's house, until he decided to give ownership to me when they moved. He passed away 10 months ago, and with the economy, my mom couldn't stay where they were living before. We are still trying to work out where she can live long term. I heard my mom get into an argument with my wife because she was trying to redecorate the nursery against Kara's wishes. All I heard was my mom telling her that she's not the lady of the house just because her fake victim sob story worked on me. No. Oh my god. That's all I need to hear. Your mom's definitely the asshole. Why would she say something like that? No offense, mom. You're not the lady of the house either because your man's dead. That's fucked up, but it's true. She looked flustered when I demanded her to tell me what she meant. And basically, she held on to that same belief, but she was willing to put up with my choices on who I marry so she doesn't lose me. Everything she had to say infuriated me. And then seeing how upset Kara was by everything, I called my brother to come pick my mom up because she can't stay here right now. My mom wouldn't stop crying not to do this to her for just being honest. Okay, she can't cry and say, don't do this to me, I'm just being honest. Honest to who? That's just your opinion. You don't know why she got with him. You don't know why he got with her. Like, oh my god. She's still at my brother's, but they keep trying to talk to me to let her come back because this was my dad's house, and of course she wants to feel closer to him. But after asking Kara if this is the first time she had said something, she revealed that my mom has told her numerous times what she thinks of her, and she kept it from me because she knew it would hurt our relationship. For that reason, I haven't let my mom come back. It's hard because I know what this house means to her and that she's still sad about my dad, but also can't forgive her for upsetting my wife. So, am I the asshole? Mom's psycho. I'm sorry. Like, why would you say that? Like, you're already with her, you're already married, you already have another baby on the way. Like, mom needs to suck it up and understand that this is the life you want to live. Like, you're happy. Why does she have a stick up her ass? I don't know.
I, 43 female, have been dating B, 44 male, for 9 months. We've had some amazing times as well as some bumps in the road. He has 2 daughters, Kate 13 and Elle 11. I met them both 4 months ago and they're super awesome chicks. Funny, beautiful, and talented. Immediately, Elle and I clicked because I swear she's a younger version of me. On Mondays and Tuesdays, Elle would have her dad B drop her off and pick her up from play lessons, and I would ride along and the 3 of us would cut up, make terrible yo mama jokes, and overall have a blast. If and when I couldn't ride along, she would be upset and she didn't know if and when she would see me again since you've had a lot of terrible girlfriends and I really like Kay. Please don't screw this up. About a month ago, one of her play classes was canceled, so we had an hour to kill and all came back to my house. Elle loves horror movies and stories, so I introduced her to Mr. Ballin and we started watching one of my favorites while B went outside to smoke. I'm sitting on the couch and Ella has her back leaning up against my shoulder while she kicked out her feet in the other direction. I have a sister, several nieces and ton of gal pals, and nothing was abnormal or weird. Just typical chilling on the couch stuff. No, I didn't have my arm around her, nor was I even touching her. I have a 13-year-old son and this was normal, even for him. Well, B came in from smoking and immediately started giving me the evil eye. I was wondering what was wrong, never thinking he thought that there was something inappropriate going on between me and his 11-year-old daughter. Ella and I finished watching the episode, all while B would look at us like we were two teenagers. Shortly after the stink eye began, the episode ended and it was time to go. I pulled B aside and asked him what was wrong, and he said, "Oh, nothing," in a way like he just caught me cheating or something. After we dropped Elle off, who never knew there was now a rift between her dad and I broke down. I asked him straight out if he thought I would ever harm Elle or any child in any way. He explained it away that he was just an overprotective dad and that Elle is impressionable and wanted to protect her. I don't have daughters, only a son, so I told him that I was sorry, even though the whole accusation really broke my heart and nothing more was said. We continued to ride along to take her to her lessons and even went to her play last weekend. Flash forward to yesterday. We're at his folks' lake house for early Thanksgiving, 2 hours early, and it's a gorgeous day. Elle and Kay are restless and want to go on an adventure. I asked B to grab my walking shoes out of the car, I was wearing heels, and suggested that we all go on a walk in the wooded beach area by the water. B got my shoes, we all announced that we were going for a walk in the woods and took off. B didn't express interest when we asked him to come as he was chatting with his folks. Kay ended up wearing my heels and it was super funny watching her stumble around in the woods with them on. She actually hiked a good distance in them. Mind you, this is right next to the house, and since all the leaves have fallen, you can see the whole area where we are. It wasn't a day hike or anything. Kay tapped out after a bit though and turned back towards the house. Elle was way far ahead and alone, so I followed her and we ended up by the water. You can literally see us from the house, so it's like a short hike. And had a great time taking pictures, looking at cool rocks and moss, and overall having a kumbaya moment when we hear B call out. We both are excited he decided to join us. Seriously, we were only gone for 10 minutes at this point, when he yells at us from the cliff above for not answering him the first 2 times when he called out. We didn't hear him, and I told him that I was sorry, but he should come down and hang out with us. He simply turned around and walked away, leaving Elle and us alone and confused. I told her that we should head back up so I could sort this out, and we did immediately. I asked him what the hell, and he said he was scared he couldn't find us. I then asked why did he ignore us and walk away instead of joining us and having a beautiful moment. He said because I know how you are and I was upset you two were alone together, not answering me. This is when I asked him what he meant by saying I know how you are. Part 2. I'm breaking up with my boyfriend for thinking that I have an inappropriate relationship with his 11-year-old daughter. When I specifically asked what he meant by I know how you are, his only answer was that because I've had sex with other women. So here I am, devastated that for the second time in my life, I'm being accused of pretty much having pedo tendencies. Stuck 2 hours away from home at his parents' lake house on Thanksgiving Sunday. I told him that if he really thought that I would harm Elle or any other child, why the fuck didn't he just come join us? Why walk away? Why stay with someone who you think may harm your child? I told him that we would talk about it later and went inside and acted like it was all well. He even apologized and pawed at me for the rest of our time there, and I just put on a fake smile and went with it. I was heartbroken and in shock. Once we got back home last night, he kept trying to initiate sex and act like everything was fine, and I sat on the couch trying to find the words. I told him that it was over. I won't be with someone who thinks I would harm a child. I also won't be with someone that dates someone that they think would harm their child. I told him that there really wasn't anything left to talk about, and he went through all the stages of grief right before my eyes in about an hour. I just sat there in stunned silence. All the love I had for him went away the moment I realized he was accusing me for the second time. To be clear, no one in this story, including the girls, have ever been a victim of grooming, R-word or M-word. Not even I, nor B, nor anyone on either side of the family, so it's unclear, other than his alcohol consumption, where this is coming from. I let him stay the night and told him that he could get his things in the morning since it was late and he was drunk. This morning, he acted like everything was normal and asked if he could come back tonight, all while my skin was crawling and I couldn't wait for him to leave. I want to call B's mom as well as Elle's mom and explain why I won't be in their life anymore. We all got along really well, so cutting ties really sucks, but not sure if I should. How the fuck do you tell someone you've been implicated in having inappropriate contact with a member of their family? I plan on gathering his things and telling him that I never want to see him again. What should I do? My husband and I have been together for about 8 years now. Most of our marriage was wonderful and I thought he was a great man. About a year and a half ago, my friend asked if she could stay with us because she had nowhere else. My husband at first was against this and I begged him until he agreed. She moved in and everything was fine until a week ago. My husband comes home to me and says that we have problems last week. He doesn't like the way that I'm behaving towards him. The only thing that he says is wrong is that I had a mental relapse and started acting in a way that he doesn't like. I tell him that I'm under a lot of stress because I work and go to school 7 days a week while he sits at home with no legal job. Now at this point, I had a feeling in my gut that something was off. My roommate lets me borrow her phone and I find hurtful messages he sent her asking for goodnight kisses and calling her pet names like honey. My heart breaks and I confront him. He asks for a separation so that he can think about if he still wants to be with me and asks me to move out, at least for now. Even though this really hurts, I agree. The only thing I ask for in return is to make her leave too since he clearly has a thing for her. He refuses. After we both talk to the roommate, she bursts into tears and goes into her room. My husband gets mad at me and asks me to leave because if I'm there, he'll feel bad for going to comfort her. What about my comfort? I'm his wife and I've always been loyal to him. I'm so hurt and shocked. I never thought that he was this kind of person. He wants me to give him time to decide, which I would do if it wasn't for the roommate part. I know other people have gone through way worse than me right now, but it hurts so much inside. I just wish I could turn my feelings off. I don't think a good man would do this to his wife. How do I pick up the pieces and move on? I could wait for him if the roommate was gone, but it doesn't look like he'll kick her out. My husband asked me to leave while refusing to kick out our roommate who he cheated with. So, my mother-in-law, I'm a gal by the way, came to stay with us for a few weeks till her home is renovated for Christmas. The problem is that she has been randomly walking in on me while I'm in the bathroom. Thankfully, not once has she seen me naked, but I started picking up on her behavior after the second time in a week. She'd barge in, then turns and says, "Oh, sorry," then closes the door. I tried talking to my husband about it, but he kept ignoring me and then flat out said, "So what if she accidentally sees you naked? She's family." He seriously said that. We have a lock and I could have used it, but I have past trauma from the idea of being locked in a room after my brother locked me in the bathroom when I was 5. So I came up with this idea. I'd go inside the bathroom pretending to use it and wait for her to come. Because honestly, it's deliberate at this point. When she accidentally barges in, she'd see me in a weird, awkward position. For example, doing a ballet stand, standing on the toilet, or standing facing the wall with my hands up. I could see how awkward and weird this would be for her because she'd stand there for a few seconds trying to figure out what I was doing. It was hilarious at first seeing her initial confusion, but she told my husband about it, claiming she's caught me practicing rituals in the bathroom. I cleared things up and revealed the reason why. He called me childish and said that I made his mom feel terrified and weirded out. He said I should have acted immaturely and locked the damn door instead of playing mind games. My husband and his mom are extremely upset at me. He still thinks it was ridiculous and is demanding an apology before she goes back to her home. I'm not sure if I'll apologize, but yes, while it was a me problem that I couldn't use the lock, it still feels wrong what she did, and maybe I'm wrong too, but at least I got a little chuckle out of it. Am I in the wrong for doing weird, awkward poses whenever my mother-in-law accidentally walks in on me in the bathroom?